How to record a podcast part 2, recording and editing.
Hello and welcome to Video Jug. I'm Stuart Headlam. In the first film in this series, How to Make a Podcast Part 1, Planning, I showed you how to get ready to record your podcast, and now I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, there are loads of programs you can buy or download that will help with this process, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm only going to be using programs that come bundled with a new Mac or PC. In addition to that software, it's worth having a good internet connection, and you might also want to consider buying an external microphone. Now, most Macs, with the exception of the Mac Pro and the Mac Mini, have a built-in microphone, but for sound quality, it's better to think about getting an external one. Now, microphones come in two flavours. The first have a standard audio jack at the end, and this will plug into the mic in socket on almost any Mac and many PCs. But you might also want to consider a microphone that has a USB plug at the end. Not only are these easier to set up, but obviously they're compatible with any computer that has a USB port. The only disadvantage is that they can be harder to find in the shops. With your mic plugged in, you're ready to start recording. Windows XP and Vista feature a program called Sound Recorder that you can find in the Accessories section in the program part of the Start menu. This program lets you pick your audio source and also features a levels window so you can make sure the sound's going into the program. When you're ready to start recording your script, simply hit Record. Try and record each section of your script as a separate file and name it accordingly, as this will make editing it easier later. Mac users can make a similar recording using QuickTime. Go to the File menu and select New Audio Recording. However, since we're going to be editing our audio in GarageBand on the Mac, it makes sense to also record our footage in that program. Open GarageBand, in this case using GarageBand 3, and select New Podcast Episode. Once you've named it, the main program window will appear. Go to the Track menu at the top of the screen and select New Track. Choose Real Instrument, and then in the Effects menu, at the bottom right of the screen, click on the Details option. Here you can use various effects to help improve the quality of your recording. Selecting the Gate option will help cut out any unwanted sounds when you're speaking, while the compressor will help balance out the louder and quieter parts of your speech. When you're ready to record, make sure the correct track is selected and hit the large red record button approximately halfway down the screen. Whatever package you're using to record your voice, do a few test recordings first to gauge your position to the microphone. If you sit closer, you'll tend to get a nice deep sound, but there is a chance you get some distortion on the recording. If you put the microphone further away, you can end up sounding literally distant. When you've found a place that you're happy with, try and stay in that position for every take to get a constant sound throughout the recording. While it's good to speak in your natural voice, bear in mind that we tend to talk in a faster and more careless way than is ideal for broadcast. So if you're going to be doing a solo spoken piece, try and slow yourself down a little bit and pay a little bit more attention to your pronunciation. The key here is to be easy to understand without sounding like you're forcing yourself to be well spoken. Listen back to your test recordings and try and find a style that you're happy with. Don't worry if you make a mistake during the recording, as this can be fixed in the edit. Just start the sentence again at a convenient point. Also, if you're going to listen to your voice while you're recording it, try and do so through a pair of headphones, as if you're listening through the speakers, that can interfere with the recording. When you've finished recording, Windows users will have a selection of files in the folder they selected to save them in. GarageBand users will have a series of purple blocks on the timeline of the track they selected. Each of these recorded blocks can be moved around on the timeline if you wish to reorder your recordings, and each block can be edited by dragging the start and end points of the clip around, or you can cut parts out by dragging the playhead to the start of the point you want to edit out, selecting Split from the Edit menu, and then doing the same thing at the end of the section you want to remove. This newly separated section can now be deleted. Don't forget, you can also add a selection of effects to any track you've selected. Windows users can perform the same kind of edit using the built-in application Movie Maker, which you'll find in the Programs section of the Start bar. You can open your sound clips in Movie Maker and drag them to the audio section of the timeline, where you can adjust their start and end points and rearrange them as you wish. You can also use the Split option in the Clip menu to cut out material as you would in GarageBand. Once you're happy with the flow of your dialogue, you can add backing music and jingles to punctuate your podcast. Movie Maker users will be able to drag jingles and stings to points between their dialogue, but will struggle to put audio behind their dialogue. GarageBand users can drag in songs from their iTunes library or use songs that they've already composed in GarageBand by clicking on this button to view the media browser, then selecting the audio button. Audio can be dragged into any free track on the timeline that will accept it. The track can then be adjusted or have effects added to it in the usual way. Done.